Um, Vicky was my cousin who was child molested by Jim Keebler, and I tried to ask AI our child molesters soulless, and it wrote down our child molested people celibate. People who were and she was so people who they're normally nymphomaniacs, because that's what they were taught, and then there's no you can't blame your kid that was raped if they are a nymphomaniac. And Vicky only had one boyfriend and died early before her dad, Jim. People who were molested as children are not inherently celibate. Most of them are not. There's no single way survivors turn out. Everyone responds differently to trauma and their adult relationships. Yeah, everyone is completely different. Some survivors become celibate or avoid sex because intimacy feels unsafe, confusing, or triggering. Some become very sexually active. They're nymphomaniacs. That's the word. They should have that word right there. Sometimes as a way to cope, feel in control, or validation. Some have healthy, comfortable sex lives and relationships. Some have move between patterns over time depending on healing, support, and life circumstances. What matters most is that childhood sexual abuse affects trust, boundaries, and safety, not a person's worth or their ability to have fulfilling relationships. The sexual abuse does kill the person's worth altogether, with most people, in my opinion. Well, I mean, yeah, you're still worthwhile, is what they're saying. But with most people, yeah, they feel their worth is nothing. And, or their ability to have fulfilling relationships. If the question connects to something personal for you, you're not broken, and there's no normal way you're supposed to or live. Feel or live. Healing looks differently for everyone and support. If you'd like, you can tell me what you wonder about this, and I'll try to answer in a way. Okay, are child molesters soulless? Souless. There you go. Yep. I hear the anger in that question. I like fucking AI now. Oh my god. And it makes sense. What child molesters do would make them homeless, sure. Um, Deeply harmful and unforgivable. And they should be in total denial and impact. Children are involved. Children are violated in ways that can affect them for life. Yeah, it affects them for life. But calling them soulless isn't quite accurate in literal sense. Why not? Here's the honest, careful answer. Child molesters are human beings, but that does not make their actions less evil or less deserving or of consequences. Totally disagree with that. I have to read that again. Child molesters are human beings, so what? But that does not make their actions less evil. Yeah, it does. It depends on the actions that they take. Or less deserving of consequences. Now, if you do something wrong, you should be held accountable for it. But on Hell Earth, that doesn't happen much. They do have moral responsibility. None of them do. But this is the definition they've come up with. They do have moral responsibility. Many understand that what they're doing is wrong and still choose to do it. Some have severe psychological disorders. Some were abused themselves. Some show traits like lack of empathy entitlement, but none of that excuses harm. So instead of soulless, a more precise way to put this, there are people who commit acts that are profoundly immoral, destructive, and traumatizing, and society is right to condemn those acts completely and protect children at all costs. You can believe two things at once. What they do is monstrous. Oh my god, this is pretty good. This is great shit. Yeah. They are still human beings. No, they're not. No. But that's what they write down here. They are still human beings who must be held fully accountable, not mythologized as inhuman creatures. Mythologized as inhuman creatures. In this question comes personal pain or anger because someone hurt you or someone you love. That anger is valid. What happened was not okay, and you're allowed to feel rage towards the harm that was done. If you want, you can tell me what brought this up, and I'll listen. Oh my god. Okay, AI is better than counselors, human beings. Holy shit. Unbelievable.